Auburn baseball just began its SEC season, and while the results of it were not that fun to talk about, we still need to give you the things that you need to know about this particular series, what happened in the games, and the players, and things of note. Let's talk about those right now. War Eagle, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Kyle here at E2C Network, where we share the whole Auburn experience for this particular topic today. As you're watching or listening, be sure to drop a comment down below. It'll help enter you into that ongoing subscriber giveaway for a signed Auburn football prize package. Details are listed in the description link. And lastly, we do want to thank members of our booster club like Ryan Reese, who help produce videos like this. Short, sweet, to the point, and Auburn baseball. That is what we're discussing in this particular topic today. Auburn opening up SEC play on the road in Fayetteville against the Arkansas Razorbacks, which are ranked very high, as many of the SEC teams are right now. All that being said, you would have expected not so great result for the Tigers in their first road matchup in SEC play. And that's what we got. All three games, the Tigers were swept. The scores were in game 1, 2-7. In game 2, 3-9, and in the final game of the series, 0-5, bringing the overall record for the Auburn Tigers to 13-6-1 in the year, and obviously 0-3 in SEC play. The interesting thing was, for game 1, things seemed to be starting pretty strongly for the Auburn Tigers in this first matchup against an SEC opponent, with Tommy Vale on the mound getting off to a strong start himself. However, one inning alone is all Arkansas needed to put enough runs on the board to keep Auburn from getting the victory in this particular matchup. For game 2 and that 3-9 final score, really Arkansas only needed their first 2 innings with their offense to get enough on the board to secure the victory for themselves. The only Auburn offense really came in the form of Bryson Ware, shocker I know, with a multi-home run game. And in that final matchup, that 0-5 win for the Arkansas Razorbacks, they only needed the first couple of innings to get enough runs on the board, with Auburn only mustering 3 hits on the day total. The one bright spot for the Tigers, though, was a great showing for the pitcher in relief, Will Cannon, who really shut the Arkansas Razorbacks down, making it at least an option for Auburn to come back in this game. Now that you know how the games went, let's talk about some players of note. We'll start with Kason Howell, one of the better offensive options for Auburn in this series. He did get his second home run of the season. Again, we're talking about Bryson Ware, not a shocker here. His second multi-home run game of the season with those 2 home runs in game 2. And we do want to mention something pitching-wise. Will Cannon, 4.2 scoreless innings when he came in game 3 to give Auburn one of their better hopes for even getting back in a game this series. Lastly, let's talk about some series notes and takeaways. We did mention that this is the first SEC series of the season, which is a great thing to be in this part of the competition, which is only going to get tougher. With the results of everything, it does mean that Auburn has taken its first SEC loss overall in a game. It has taken its first series loss in SEC play, its first being swept overall, but also its first SEC series being swept in as well. More bad numbers. There was also the second series in a row that Auburn has lost. Now, when we put all these things in perspective, you were playing at that time the number 3 ranked team in the nation, which would tell you that this result was probably highly likely. And my takeaways from this particular weekend: it's easy to see why so many people expected Auburn, even outside of what it could accomplish, was going to have such a hard time in the SEC this particular season when you start with a team like Arkansas. They are formidable, and it seems right now at least that Auburn has a lot of ground to make up to be in the hunt in any part of the competition in the SEC. But I would not jump to conclusions just off this one weekend alone, especially since it was really their first true big test on the road in a series at least. The other big question is what happened to the offense? Again, some of those factors play in where you're kind of out of your element you've been used to for quite some time. We've seen time and time again outside of this series that Auburn's offense can get itself back into the game. It just didn't happen on the road in Arkansas this series. We'll see if that narrative changes. So there you have it, all the things that you need to know from this series with Arkansas. Would love to know anything that we missed, anything that you'd like to talk further about down in the comments section below. On your way out, be sure to check out those links in the description for ways that you can help support us here at E2C Network, where we share the whole Auburn experience. War Eagle.